Hello everyone, today we are going to do a world conquest as the notorious fashion brand Balenciaga. This is all pretty simple and straightforward, so we'll just get into it. We'll be playing on the Gathering Storm scenario as France, which will let us get access to the Balenciaga focus tree. I know, very cool. Funny thing about this too, this here is all historically accurate, as for him starting the business, and historically the first boutique in Paris for them opened in August of 1937. We can give them some government funds though to help them open up a bit earlier in February 36 instead of August of 37. We'll do that too so that we can get to things faster without having to wait forever. The second we do that too, it locks us out of our regular France focus tree, at least the political one. We won't need that though, we have a much better one down here that we will get to. First though, we'll just devalue the franc like you would usually do in a France campaign in Hearts of Iron 4. And 2, our army is pretty bad. If we let the game run for a day, we'll see that we're 15,000 guns below even. February, we have the Paris boutique. We get him as a pretty good national spirit, and we start our focus tree. This also removes the political violence in national spirit. The entire premise around him getting this government funding in a time of need in France is that he is going to bring France together. Winston Balenciaga, a more elderly male model who's been with Balenciaga from the start, and second, Charles de Balenciaga, Cristobal's younger brother, another striking model. These are the two main characters in the Balenciaga movement right now, along of course too with the founder. Either way, it's time that we start going down the focus tree. It's a pretty big focus tree and we'll be doing a lot. It is a world conquest after all. First things first though, we have to fix a lot of the issues in France before we begin expanding outside of France. What I'll want to do very first here is modify inefficient economy by 10%. We will then go remove inefficient economy completely, and then we will get to some of our better focuses. And yes, we have now reached the very important key focus here. France is Balenciaga. We will go ahead and do that before later returning to do some of these focuses. It is important we get there eventually. We have to do a new riot too to even do the middle branch. And here we are now Balenciaga, a very good nation in Hearts of Iron 4. It's much better than France, so if you hate France, you cannot hate Balenciaga. This is very different now. Anyways, it's most important first that we do the most British dress focus tree. We'll then start with securing real estate and then jump to the Americas handbag. All these focuses handle different regions, of course, but yeah, these three are the most important for now. We don't want to go get involved in places that we don't belong in just yet. And if we don't deal with Britain may start to get mad if we start declaring on random countries. Okay, and now that we've properly infiltrated Ireland, we will do the important Ireland is Balenciaga focus to make Ireland Balenciaga too, just like France. And then we will move on to making Britain Balenciaga. In vanilla Hearts of Iron 4, without this mod, you can sometimes form the Franco-British Union, but now we can form the Balenciaga British Union. It's kind of hard because Britain is committing too many fashion crimes right now, but as long as we do this focus to deal with the fashion crimes, making this merger won't be too terrible. And it looks like Italy is going through a civil war. We don't really care about either side there. It does not really matter for now. We will just ignore them. Poland is also now having some civil issues too, but we have more important things to deal with. London, there we shall meet many interesting British people. Wow, I wonder what they'll want. First thing they want is Scotland to be an autonomous region. Since when did London ever want that? This is too unrealistic, but sure. And second, they want a large portion of our income to go to the integration efforts and such, which is also fine. It's a very, very expensive price tag, but I'm willing to pay it for Balenciaga. We're now very, very slightly tinted red instead of green, and Scotland is independent, kind of. Just called the Balenciagan highlands. I'm sure they love it up there with their limited autonomy. Either way, Britain is no more. No one could even release them if they wanted to. We also got some of their puppets, like we have the Balenciagan Raj, British Malaya, which is still British, I guess. However, South Africa and Canada both became independent, and they have the allies now, so they are the two allies. We will go get them eventually, though. We have some focuses to deal with, at least Canada. They're kind of a low priority right now, though, so we'll just let them do what they want. For now, we'll do one model to rule them all. So Winston Balenciaga and Charles de Balenciaga don't really like each other that much. Winston smiled warmly, silver hair gleaming in the light. I hate you, Charles. You'll never be half the man your brother is. So we'll have to deal with that by choosing one of them to be the new face of the brand. Pierre has done a good job so far, but we really need someone who shines. And here, we will choose the great Winston Balenciaga to lead our nation, the ancient beauty. Charles's war support and division attack is pretty good, but I really like the consumer goods and stability. We'll definitely be needing that stability in the long run. And now with the leader picked, we can do securing real estate, which gives our new leader an amazing trait that lets us justify wars with no tension. It lets us declare on democratic nations as a democratic nation, and it lets us as a democratic nation declare on countries that haven't generated tension. Now with our new beautiful leader trait, we will go straight into the Benelux, and then from the Benelux go straight into Germany as fast as possible before they get strong, no appeasement, and then we can go focus on the Americas, or just go straight to Moscow. And as we go into the Benelux, what we are going to do with America is bribe America with a beautiful new handbag to not guarantee 3 countries, Brazil, Colombia, and Venezuela, and then we will do what we wish with those countries. Nothing crazy, we're just converting them to proper fashion. We will now do the same with the Netherlands, though I also have a naval invasion planned for them to make this very easy. Unfortunately, no Dutch East Indies, but we will be back over there eventually. Next stop, though, is the very small country of Luxembourg, and then we will have a nice long border to attack Germany from before Germany gets powerful at all. Usually in vanilla as France, it would be kind of impossible to do this because you can't really declare war on Germany this fast without getting into a civil war because you denied them the Rhineland, but they'll sometimes demand the Sudetenland fast enough that you can basically do this just without Britain's help. And like I said, declaring on them so early will make this very easy, so we should have a very nice time just battle planning through Germany. Maybe we might have to do a bit of micro, I don't know. They're holding on decently well. Okay, and this actually has slowed down a little bit. They had more divisions than I thought they had. They just didn't have all of their divisions on the border immediately. So we will need to slow down a little bit, I guess. I'm sure we will break them eventually. Right now, though, a lot of our divisions are just kind of bad. And we have a lot of artillery, so I probably should have designed a better division before we started this thing, but we will design one now. We'll just use this guy here to do a lot of the heavy lifting, switch out some of our bad garrison divisions with this guy. We've begun making some progress in the north here, which is nice. We encircled a few divisions that we will clean up, and we will try to get into Hamburg. If we can start taking over some of their factories, this will make it a lot less painful in the long run. I'll also continue to research agency stuff too, so we can get some nice agents. And we've maneuvered around them a bit to take over Hamburg. We also have this focus now, river fashion. We get a couple of cores on Germany. We can't core any more of Germany than just these 2 states, but I'll take that. We're also going to go to Siam and demand that they join Balenciaga too. I don't know if that'll work. It's not a good idea to really demand that while we're in a war too. It kind of gives them a better position to say no, but I'll try. And we're getting more encirclements, making more progress. We should be able to get into Berlin soon. They did add Hungary to their faction, but that shouldn't make too much of a difference really. And yeah, we're just finishing them up at this point. We split Germany in half and encircled most of them. Just battle planning to end this. This took a lot longer than I thought it would take, but at the same time, this is still fairly fast to be finishing off Germany, you know? And now we have a lot of things we need to do. I didn't even realize that we've been at war with Mexico the entire time. I don't know how long this has happened. We also need to help protect Eastern Europe from the Soviets by asking every everybody here to either be our puppet, or we can just join their faction, I guess. That might be a better option. Also, I realized too that our puppet became communist and is now in a civil war with Linlith, so we should probably send them help too. Yeah, I don't know, this is all really complicated. Make it easy though, we're just going to do the continental catwalk focus, send subjugation demands to every country in Eastern Europe, and get an annex war goal against the Soviets. I will also send some divisions over to India to help there eventually sometime, and we will see how this goes. Okay, so Estonia rejected it, Livonia accepts it, Czechoslovakia accepts it, Greece rejects it, Serbia accepts it. This is fine though, because I just need to find who owns this faction. Oh, we've actually generated too much tension now. Anyways, I guess I'll just create my own faction with Poland, and then I'll have to invade them eventually. Most importantly though, we really need these divisions to get over to India before our puppet capitulates. We're also now going to host a very surprising show out of nowhere on this island here. Nothing bad will happen. We're just hosting a very fun show. Yeah, and Mexico did declare on the United States, so we probably don't need to be doing this naval invasion. I still will anyways, but it's probably unnecessary at this point. Yeah, the United States already invaded our naval invasion areas. Our India also capitulated, but we at least got divisions there in time, so we're holding a front. Okay, and now that we've restored order in India, I am going to move over to Europe and deal with the Soviets now, hopefully before Romania capitulates. Just get on this border, make a battle plan, and we'll be dealing with this for the next few years. Wait, who are we being justified on by? Oh, Romania? Yeah, Romania, I'm not really scared of you right now. Okay, Romania is about to capitulate, so we kind of need to get emergency military access, and we need to declare a little bit sooner than I would have liked, but this will be for the best, because otherwise Romania would not be alive. Okay, never mind, they just lost. See, the good thing about this though is now we can deal with them all just in one war, and we don't have to fight two separate wars. Should make it a bit more easy, though they somehow have a lot of divisions in these countries. All these countries have no divisions, but the Soviets are just garrisoning their borders and stuff. I think I'll keep them out of the war for now. It's good to have all these Soviet divisions distracted doing nothing. Maybe it is better to just have let Romania's faction capitulate first. Anyways, besides fuel, things are going pretty well right now. I paused the offensive for a few months to build some planning bonus, and what the Soviets did is they moved more divisions into these areas that they shouldn't be defending. So now half of their army is just sitting here getting encircled while there's nothing to actually defend their victory points. And once we control Leningrad and Moscow, we can do Napoleon is Balenciaga and get this pretty good national spirit, and then move on to other things like dealing with the US. The US is going to be very annoying to deal with. We have 5 times their factories, so maybe they won't be that annoying. So yeah, when the US beat Mexico, they didn't puppet them or anything, and now Mexico has another war goal against the United States. They could just declare on them again. This is also going to be the easiest encirclement of 3 tanks ever. They didn't even try to avoid it. They just kind of sat there. And we have anti-tank in all of our divisions, so it's not going to be easy for them to get out of encirclements like that with their bad AI tanks. We'll just micro a bit here to try to get to some of these supply hubs in the north. If we can capture some of those, then our supply situation will improve a lot. All we really need to do is attack into the divisions that are attacking into our divisions, and we should be able to get up there. We've encircled Leningrad. This is good. Also, while Manchuria is declaring their independence and confusing Japan, I might declare war on China and Japan at the same time. I think that might be a good idea. Just try to wrap things up over there, and then maybe we can save the US as our final battle. And yeah, things are great right now. Balenciaga controls so much. We have so much influence in the global fashion industry right now. It's kind of great, though the Soviets are gonna hold on for a long time, so we won't be able to properly integrate their fashion just yet. It'll be fine though. We still have other things we need to do. Like, we really should do this army reform focus to get rid of victors of the Great War. It's a terrible national spirit from vanilla. We also should now do Napoleon is Balenciaga. America is though being really nice and helping us out by sending volunteers to a lot of countries, so I don't know. Maybe they are our friends. Sadly, they're in their own faction, so they can't join our faction. They're in the weird allies with South Africa and Canada. Can't really do a world conquest if you don't have everybody at least in your faction, or that's what the final focus says. Every single country in the game has to be us, a subject project of us, or in a faction with us. So we'll have to fight the US eventually. At least we have the national spirit that lets us justify on democracy. And once we have Napoleon, is Balenciaga will be able to justify war goals extremely fast. And this is interesting. We could go to war with America right now by calling Mexico into our faction. I feel like this might be a pretty bad idea because Mexico doesn't really have enough divisions to defend themselves. I just wish I knew how powerful America was right now. It is 1941, so I'm going to guess their army is pretty big. Oh wow, Turkey just automatically joined our faction. I didn't accept this, but I do accept it retrospectively. As long as they don't get mad when we start declaring random wars and leave, everything will be fine. Mexico capitulated again, and America did not learn their lesson. They did not even remove the leader of Mexico who declared war on them. We've encircled them again in the north. We're improving our artillery. I'm going to start researching some Navy stuff too, just in case we need the extra research in our future battle against the US. Mexico just joined the commentary. What I should do though is take some of these garrison units, naval invade Mexico, so when the Soviets capitulate, Mexico also capitulates, and then Mexico will be in our faction. We landed in Mexico. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to keep these divisions here because now when the Soviets capitulate right now, we get Mexico. Amazing. What to do now? So much stuff. Okay, great borders. 10 out of 10. I love what Livonia did. This is the best idea I have ever seen. For the record, I did not do this. This was the AI. The rest of this though, I did this. So you can blame me for all of this stuff. I think it's mostly fine though. We can just ignore this. We can just pretend that this blob is a separate country and it's perfectly fine. Or maybe it's just a new sense of fashion the AI is experimenting with. It's very unique and avant-garde. I can't quite understand how it makes any sense. Hey, it's Kerensky. Ah, Kerensky. It's a Kaiserreich reference. Anyways, it's probably time to go help Qing China and invade normal China. Here's our faction right now, by the way. We're very, very strong, and we have Mexico. So easy way to invade the US eventually. I will just start building up airfields in this region over here so that air is not a problem. I might build up infrastructure a bit too, just in case. Anyways, that is the end of things for today. If you guys want, I will continue this and in a part 2 complete the world conquest, which will also allow us to complete the final focus here too. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you all next time.